So I'm back. I'm just taking it to the original way I do my lives, and I'm hoping that this works. Everything looks like it's okay. I disappeared, but everything else looks like it's working. So I guess that's all that really matters right now. I'm going to be using Jolie Paint Santorini shade. And then I'm painting this pine rosette raw wood. And I will be then using the Gilding Silver Wax. So super cool. All right, so you're gonna see less of me, but you're gonna see more of the project I'm working on, which is what you want to see anyways. So here we go. I'm just using a variety of brushes today. Some are Jolie, some are just regular artist brushes, just whatever I really have available. And I'm just gonna go in here. This one's probably going to take me a little bit longer to paint because I can tell this brush is stiff and it's smaller, but that's okay. I'm going to adjust my light really quick so that you can see. Well, that actually looks okay. When it's down here, it's not so much of that glare. So I'm just spreading the paint out. Some areas had more than others. I really like this shade blue. I was at one point going to do, well, I did a parlor table, an antique parlor table over the summer with this, and it turned out really good. I'm actually going to give it to one of my best friends. She's seen it. She loved it. I'm like, yeah, you can have it. So I got to get that to her, but that turned out really nice. And I was going to do a dresser. I have this one dresser I got over the summer. Oh my gosh, if you guys would have seen how I brought that thing down the stairs, that thing had been in that house for probably 80 years. And I wonder if they even built with it in there because, well, I don't know if they would have been able to do that, but well, maybe I'm not exactly sure. But this thing, it was a winding stairs, and I don't even know to this day how we got it, but we did. So I haven't painted it yet. I just haven't done it, and it's cool. It's made in Wisconsin. It's a really solid vintage for sure. Probably antique dresser. It's probably close to 100 years old, and I wanted to do it and I almost did it in this color, but I just didn't feel like it would. I just didn't feel like that was quite right for that piece. But maybe I'll do that in a gentleman's blue. We'll see. So yeah, I'm glad you guys can see me better. I know it was super, super choppy in the last video and it kind of disappoints me, but you know what? I'm never gonna learn if I don't try this stuff. And I feel like why start over? The content's still there. It's just kind of a mess. All right, so that's kind of like the first coat. This is shade Santorini. I'm painting it on raw pine. I do have my ring light, so it's a little bit brighter, but it's still wet too. So paint is never this, that's not going to be exactly how it looks when it dries. I'm just going to go in here and paint the sides, and then I'm going to take the hot gun to it, the heat gun, and speed up the dry time. And then we're going to apply the gilding wax because the coverage is so good and I'm going to use gilding wax on it. I don't really need to put a second coat on of this, especially because these are sample blocks to just give you an idea of how to use the materials. But if it was a real piece I was using, I would go in with a light second coat. I always do 2 coats on my furniture that I paint, but usually I do 3 to 4, and it's not necessary. The coverage is really good. That's just something I've always done. I used to work a lot with milk paint, and I just kind of got in that habit. I did a lot of coats. I wanted my stuff to just really be on there good. So you don't have to do that many, but that's just something I do a lot of. All right, so it's looking really good. I really like I said, I really like this color. What are you guys up to today? Tonight is the last, well, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, I'm drawing a winner for a $25 gift certificate you can use on our website. So it'll be like a virtual gift certificate. If you want to go ahead and get in on that, leave us a review on Facebook and then leave us a review on Google. Northern Vintage Decor. That's what our business name is. If you've had an experience with us, leave that review before 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. And like I said, I'm going to draw one winner to win a $25 gift certificate. If you leave it on both Facebook and Google, you're going to get entered twice. I know some of you have already, so thank you for that. All right. So it's covered. I didn't do the back. This thing is like difficult to get off. And again, it's like a sample piece. So I'm just kind of leaving it at that. But if you do have sticky stickers to get off a lot, I used Goo Gone, Goo and Adhesive Remover. This is in the spray form. They sell it in wipes and then a couple other like a liquid bottle. The spray is easier because then you don't spill it all over. But I like the wipes too. It's just a little bit pricier in the wipes and you don't get as much. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead here, close up my paint, put my brush in the little holder to the side to be cleaned. Clean your brushes. I know I got to get better at that. And now I'm just going to use the heat gun to dry this. So that just saved me about 20 to 30 minutes of dry time, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. So there is the rosette painted in shade Santorini using Jolie paint. And now I'm going to go in and I'm going to apply the Silver Gilding Wax by Jolie Paint. You hear me talk about this all the time. This stuff is amazing. I'm going to highlight the details on the rosette. I use my finger. You can use a paintbrush too, whatever is your personal preference. So I got it on my finger and I'm going to go in. I'm going to do the edges. Oh, I love how the silver makes this color just pop. Check it out. Can you see it on there? Let me add a little bit more and then you'll kind of get the effect. Ah, it's so pretty. I don't know if it's showing up on there, but if you can see it, it's super pretty. And I just think that this would be there's so much you can do with the gilding wax. I'm such a huge fan of it. You can do a lot of just simple like wall decor and then just really highlight it and make it pop with this gilding wax. It's inexpensive. It's under $20 for this jar. A little bit goes a long way because you don't have to use very much. So there it is. I know my ring light makes it kind of bright, but I'll show you a picture of all these at the end too. I'll post or something. You guys are quiet. You taking notes or what? All right, so you can kind of see, let me see if I lift it up a little bit. There, you can kind of see how that's in there. And you can imagine if you were doing a frame or a little like home decor project and you wanted to add some bling to it or shine, this would be a really inexpensive way to do so to make it pop. I never know how much I'm going to add until I just start going with something. And a lot of times I don't even know how my projects are going to turn out at the end, but you actually can. I don't know about painting over this. You probably can. I know you can actually paint over the Jolie wax, which not all waxes you can do that with. So just keep that in mind. But with the Jolie wax, you can. So I added more than I thought I was going to, but I really like it. And with the ring light, the color is probably a little bit bright, but it looks really cool. And I'll take a picture of the end. So that is Jolie in Santorini. And then I went in with the silver gilding wax. I don't think this is necessary to have to use the protective wax over it. But if you were doing like a furniture piece, I would, recommend after this has dried to go over with the clear protective wax. If you go over it again, like clear and then a colored wax, you're going to change the color. Does anybody have any questions before I log off? So between this video and the last one, I showed you how to use the paint and then apply the silver Jolie Gilding Wax. And then on the last two videos, I know they were choppy, but I showed you how to apply the Jolie paint and then add the, I believe we did the brown wax on this, and it kind of gave it that more aged look. So that's the olive green color with the brown wax. It's a very nice color. And then on this one, I didn't really get to do it exactly how I would have because I was using one hand, but I don't mind this. This would be cool on something. This is the white in Jolie. We did a white shade in the Jolie paint, and then I went in with the black protective wax. So you got to see three different type of techniques. Well, a couple different techniques, and then, well, I guess three, the paint and the two different types of wax. And then this was kind of what that actually looks kind of cool, doesn't it? So these were the three pieces that I did. And I think that they actually all turned out real nice. And you can kind of get a good idea of what the coverage looks like. I think I did just one coat on all of these. Raw wood, you can get away with that a lot more than when something's already been painted. Also, if you're using something that mahogany bleeds through a lot, so if you're working with a piece of wood that's mahogany based, I would recommend shellacking that first and then going in. It's going to save yourself a lot of time because bleed through happens with like orangey reds all the time. It's not really something you can control unless you want to shellac it first. The gray is white paint and black wax, you said. The mini, let me see here. This is the paint that I used. I think it's pronounced gesso white. It's so it's this color. And I have this, if you go to northernvintagedecor.com and type this into the search bar, we have that in this size. And then we also have it in quartz. Oh, well, thank you. Someone just placed an order. So thank you guys. You don't know how much that means to me. You might have just heard the cha-ching. It means a lot. Being a small business owner, I've I'll write a book one day and I'll share it with you guys. How's that? But just to answer your question, Lenny, so it was that white shade, gesso. I think it's gesso. I should know this, right? But I'm human. And then I went over it with the black finishing wax, the Jolie black finishing wax. So this is also available. Check if this is not available, Lenny, on our website. I think there was a couple. I have it. I'm fully stocked. I think there was one size I forgot to put on there, and it actually might have been this. I will add it when I'm done with this video. But this size is a 4.06 fluid ounce, and a little bit goes a long way. I've been using this for months. Look how much I have left. Like, you literally use very little of this stuff. Um, I would recommend, though, if you are going to use the colored waxes, to buy a big can of the clear wax. That's going to last you probably an entire year. Well, okay, depending on how much you use it, but I'll show you it. Hang on. So you see this big can. I do carry these I would just recommend if you're going to buy a clear can. In fact, I think all I have in the clear size is large because this is something you're going to use more of, and so it's going to save you more money just to go with the bigger size. That's what it looks like. So you apply this first, then you put your colored wax over it. That's if you're doing, you really should do it on all your pieces. I just didn't have it by me at the moment, but these are sample blocks. But like for sure, furniture, if that's how you're choosing to protect the piece. And if you want, we carry the brushes too. You can use the pointed wax brush, which I demonstrated with. They look like this. I really like these. I know they're an investment, but if they're properly taken care of, they should last a long time. They're made in Italy. If not, I also use, and I use these to buff and wipe off excess wax, these lint-free cloths. You could cut up a t-shirt that's like that vintage cotton type of t-shirt, like or like Hanes or whatever, if you have them. But I just buy these in like 4-pound bags for $20 at the hardware store. So, and you can also apply the wax with these too. So hopefully that answered your question. And I can also go through once I add that wax if it's not on Linny, and I can post a link in the comments here. It'll take me a minute, but I'll try to remember to do that. Any more questions, guys? Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sure. And I also have guides. Like I have the what's it called? I think it's like the Jolie application guide or something like that, which shows you in detail how to use the wax, the metal leaf, the gilding wax, and then I have like cabinetry guides and just a general overall how-to guide. So, I can add one of those to your order too. Um, but yeah, all right. Well, I'm gonna get off here and walk my dogs, and I do have a chair that I'm gonna be working on for a client later tonight. I'm super excited about this, and uh, if yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on. So I will show you more. I'll do another tutorial maybe next week sometime, and we'll just kind of go from there. If you have any requests of something you'd like to see done, something you'd like to learn, send me an email, heather@northernvintagedecor.com. I will take your feedback, and if you want to see something, I'll go ahead and do a video on it. All right, thank you guys. Have a good evening. Bye now.